Okay, good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you listen to this presentation. Okay, my name is Victor, and I'm going to be your anchor for this training, for this presentation. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. So we're going to be bringing you a lot of trainings for free. Do well to subscribe and hit the notification bar. And you can also share with your friends and also invite them to the channel. So this is curriculum description for the Cisco Certified Network Associate. So Cisco have about 3 training programs for the Ccna track. So this is the very first one. So SOUTECH is a network academy partner. So you could sign up your training, your course with us. You could get a digital badge at the end of the day. So upon completion of your training, the academy, you get a verified badge issued by Credly, which you can share on your LinkedIn profile, which you can share. You can also get a transcript for it. So I want to give you details of the Cisco training. So who should attend this very first level, this very foundational training in networking? So if you're looking up to do cybersecurity, if you're looking up to do cloud computing or networking in the cloud. So this is a very good certification that you can enroll for. Anyone that wants to learn the networking basics, so this is for you. If you want to make a career in networking, or if you're aiming for the final CCNA certification, so CCNA is Cisco Certified Network Associate. Some of the benefits for running this training is that you'll be able to describe all of the network basics, all of the things you're going to see in network security, all of the things you're going to see in network connectivity. You're able to establish LAN connectivity. For instance, if you're on a local area network, how do you identify that you are connected? How do you do Icmp configuration? How do you do send Icmp pings? That is Internet Control Messaging Protocol. How do you establish that you can connect to system A or you can connect to system B? So those are some of the things we're going to be looking at in this training. So if you want to secure and also manage network devices, so this training is for you. If you want to optimize medium size or you want to operate medium size LAN, so 10 systems, 50 systems, 100 systems, just medium size systems within a building, 2-3 buildings within a small location, you can refer that to as a LAN. Then you want to be able to troubleshoot IP connectivity. For instance, you're on a network and you cannot connect to the network. You want to be sure that you're connected to maybe a server, or you want to be sure you're connected to a PC or a wireless device and the rest. So this course is for you. Or you want to be able to set up SOHO network. So SOHO is small office home network, small office home networks. So if you want to be able to set up networks for, let's say, a cafe, a home, a small office, so this training is for you. It's going to address all of that. So some of the benefits also is that you want to define components and functions of WAN. So it goes a little bit above just your local area network and brings to you how you can define most of those components that have to do with WAN, that is wide area network. Device management, right? On a network, at times you might have a switch, you can have a printer, you can have tablets, you can have a mobile phone, you can have laptops, you can have desktop. How do you manage them on your network? They are going to be introduced to virtualization, network programmability, and cloud services. So this is a very foundational course for you if you are looking up to taking CCNA proper, that is enterprise networking, or if you are looking to do cybersecurity, or if you're looking to do cloud computing. Then at the end of the training, you're able to install, troubleshoot, operate small size networks, right? Including understanding some basics of network security. Now, you'll be introduced to the new network technologies like IoT, right? Internet of Things. So you have Internet of Things, you have Internet of Everything, you have WAN, Internet WAN, you have software-defined networking, right? Interconnected WAN, multiple WANs, that is wide area networks, Then you have software-defined networking. So software-defined networking is where you're no longer just trying to run your network by running commands on your command prompt, but you want to use softwares. You want to use SAM and SOA. We'll look at this later on, to use those to define, to run your networks. For instance, how do you shut down 10, 15 systems on a network just with the click of a button? So you're using a software to do that. How do you patch up operating systems you have on a network? So you see you're using your software to actually define or to run that network. So that's what you refer to as software-defined networking. You're able to understand most of those technologies. Then this course also will help you prepare for the Cisco 200105 exam. Then, of course, if you sign up for this course, you're able to have access to the global network in the Cisco Network Academy. So you could run this course physically in any of our offices. You could run this course remotely. And of course, this certification, this program, Netacad program, is accepted worldwide. Like I said earlier on, you get a badge, right? A verified badge by Credly that you could share to your LinkedIn profile or other places where you could add certification badges. Okay, so what are the modules for the Cisco's Certified Network Associate Foundation Level 1? So some of the modules that we're going to be looking at is networking today. Here we want to explain the advances in modern network technologies. You want to understand why do we need a network? You want to understand the different aspects of a network. What does network do for us today? How does it impact our life? The GSM technology, the Bluetooth, the infrared, all of the technologies you have in this very modern age. In this channel, there's a complete recording for this particular course, so please do check out the channel, subscribe. Both the labs, both the curriculum, everything is going to be supplied. You can also enroll and have access to the Netacad platform, or you can also enroll in any of our physical locations. Module 2, we are going to be looking at basic switch and end device configuration. So one of the very important aspects of a network is a switch. At times we call them intermediary devices. So a network is going to have three components, so to say. So you're going to have the end devices, the intermediary devices, and that's the end devices. End devices, for instance, are those guys that like the PCs, like the tablets, like the printers, like the what was it called? Like the phones. All of those things that they actually look to connect to a network are what you call the end devices. Then the intermediary devices are the things that help the end devices to connect to each other. Take for instance, like your switch, like your routers. At times, even your servers can be intermediary devices when they are in between your two devices. For instance, you can have two computers connected to a switch, and you have a printer connected to a switch, right? A network switch. That way, the two end devices are going to be able to communicate or send stuff to the printer for you to print. Why? Because you have that intermediary device there. Then the last one is what we call the connecting media. So you cannot have a network without cables, without either it is a wireless, is it infrared, is it fiber optics, is it Ethernet cable, is it whatever media or medium you're going to use to make a connection is what you refer to as the media. So you have the three components: the end device, the intermediary device, and the connecting media. So we're going to look at all of these things in the course. Then we'll look at protocols and models. Take, for instance, some students that want to take the Cisco Cybersecurity Operations Associate training, or you want to take a CH, Certified Ethical Hacker, or you want to take CompTIA S+. Any of these intermediate level cybersecurity trainings you want to take, or you intend to do some network security programs, you see that you need very good sound foundation of protocols and models. You need to understand the OSI model. You need to understand all of the ways which your computer, your end devices, how they communicate either locally or over a remote network. And the very first layer on the OSI model, Open System Interconnect, is the physical layer. So you want to get a good grasp of the physical layer of your network. You want to explain all of the physical layer protocol, the services, and all of the connecting media that's going to help that to happen. Number 5, we're going to be looking at number systems. Yes, because your computers don't communicate in let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, they rather communicate in binary, at times in hexadecimal, right? Like your MAC address, it's in hexadecimal format. Your what's it called? Your PC is going to understand things in binary. For instance, your IP address, either version 4 is going to be in decimal. And decimal will mean you're going to have 0s to 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. For instance, your IP address can be 192.168.8.1. So that is your IP address. It's in decimal because the highest number there is 9, right? But your PC is going to communicate ordinarily in binary, 0s and 1s, right? We taught that in our basic computer learning. Then take things, for instance, like your color codes, like your IP. I think your IP version 6 and also your MAC address are going to be in hexadecimal format. Module 6, we're going to be looking at the data link layer, right? So how does communication happen in that particular layer? Then very, very importantly, we're going to be looking at Ethernet switching. How does a switch operate? What is the difference between a switch and a router? That is module 7 and 8. We're going to be examining switches, routers, how they differ, what's their role, what's their function. For instance, you're going to learn that switches are forwarding packet devices. So what they do for you, they help you to transmit packets, information, data from one point to the other. They just do act like a junction box to push across those packets within your network. Whereas your network layer, the router, for instance, is a network layer device, which is on layer 3. You're going to look at all of that in the course. It's going to tell you that your router is going to help you transmit packets from one network to the other. Take, for instance, the router you have at home. Most of the times, it helps you connect internet into the home, right? So your LAN, your home network, is a network on its own. Your ISP's network is another network. So that router is serving as a bridge between your ISP's network and your home network, right? So that's what you're going to be learning in layer 3. Why are all of these things important? If you do cloud computing, if you do network security, if you do all of those advanced stuff, this comes very handy, because when you're troubleshooting a very large scale enterprise network, you want to be able to differentiate where you have a layer 2 problem compared to where you have a layer 3 problem, right? Module 9, address resolution. So in a network, for instance, what the address resolution protocol does, the ARP does, and also the network discovery protocol, what they do is they help, at times we say, neighbor identification. If you have 2, 3 systems on a network, or 2, 3 phones on a network, what the router is going to be doing, either maybe using the DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, what it will do is that it needs to discover all of the items we have on the network and see how to resolve IP addresses and assign to them, right? So you're going to see how these things happen. In network security, for instance, when you start talking about some kind of man in the middle attack, MITM, you see that it piggybacks on these protocol flows. So if you understand this very, very well, so when you do advanced stuff later on in cybersecurity and cloud computing, it makes a lot of sense to you. So in module 10, we're going to be looking at basic router configuration. This is not a wireless training, right? You have that in Ccna 2. So Ccna 2 is routing, switching, wireless essentials, right? So you learn that in routing switching essentials. So, but in this course, you want to learn some of the basic router configurations. Then module 11, IP4 addressing, module 12, IP version 6 addressing. You're going to see why do we have IP version 6 when we already have IP version 4. Depletion of IP addresses. We having IoT devices. For instance, IP version 4 addresses, you can only have about 4 billion across the world. But today we are more than 4 billion persons, including our cars, our home automation, our IoT devices, our phones. So how do we get to have more IP addresses? These are some of the things that the IP version 4 comes to solve or came to solve. So we are going to examine most of those things within this particular module. Then module 13 is Icmp, Internet Control Messaging Protocol. How do you discover most of these things within your network, your devices within your network? Icmp is Internet Control Messaging Protocol. Take, for instance, on your command prompt, when you say ping soutechventures.com, you try to check for connectivity. So it returns a message. It returns a message for you. Returns gives you a feedback. So what makes that possible? Icmp, right? So you want to understand that protocol in and out. Then in module 4, we're going to be looking at the transport layer, right? So you want to compare the operations of transport layer protocols in supporting end-to-end communication. Okay, so in 15, we look at the application layer. So this is the layer that everybody interacts with, right? Your software, for instance, your router now, if you access your router on your browser, some of us can do that. You can restart your router from your PC when you use your Chrome browser or your Safari browser to browse, right? Whatever you do there on your browser, you are actually on the application layer, right? So for instance, if your switch have a problem, there's no way your application layer is going to function properly. There's no way you're going to be browsed. You're going to be able to see other people on the network, right? So you're going to understand this layer and see how it plays its role across your network. So in module 16, we're going to be looking at network security fundamentals. Very, very important. All of those protocols, so HTTP protocol, your UDP protocol, your all of the protocols we have, right? We're going to examine them and see which protocols are plain text protocol, your SMTP protocol, your simple mail transfer protocol, FTP protocol, file transfer protocol. We're going to see which of these protocols are plain text protocol, which of them are secured protocol. So these fundamentals are very, very important if you want to do very advanced stuff in networking. And of course, in module 17, we'll learn how to build a small network. How do we design our network? And so that it can help us to scale it, to troubleshoot it, and fix it when there's a problem. So if you enroll for this course, you're going to have recordings, you're going to have details within this channel. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and also share, invite your friends to the channel. If you sign up on the Netacad platform, then you could have your exams and you can have a digital badge at the end of this training. Thank you very much. Don't forget to check other trainings we have on the channel. Thank you very much.